Hello.
Hello.
All right, everyone's popping in now. Wow, we've got a full house today. That's great.
Keep coming back for the content, Vivian. It's good stuff.
I thought it'd be really fun to just have a day to kind of roast Airbnb listings and see if we can learn from each other. I've had my Airbnb listing professionally roasted, and I thought I would share the findings with everybody today. So let's just wait for everyone to hop in, and we'll start in about 30 seconds. Arissa, can you confirm we're recording?
Yes, we are.
Awesome. Okay, good morning, everybody. It is March 1st at 11 a.m. and I'm so excited to host this Airbnb listing roast. And thank you to both Millie and Cindy for being our participants today. Just to give you an idea of what we're planning on doing today, while my company, Corporate Rentals USA and Hestia, we are existing to help branch and bridge independent owners under one brand. We're not in any way, shape, or form able to overtake Airbnb's algorithms, right? There's just so many people that do Airbnb as their primary way of finding extended stays. And why not help everyone make sure that they are completely, optimized in their listing so that we can attract long-term or extended stay bookings. And there is a art and science to this business, and I so bad my voice is not recovering right now. There's an art and science to Airbnb listings. And to be quite frank with you, I actually hired someone. I paid them several $100s to help me really kind of dive into why my Airbnb listing wasn't as strong as I wanted it to be. In fact, I was hosting someone for 6 months and I was scared that my listing had died in the algorithm. So I was like, well, let's take this opportunity to look at my listing and see how I can improve it and make sure that it has everything it needs to jump to the top ranks as fast as possible. Because, if you've been hosting someone for 6 months, every day that your listing is not live on Airbnb, it kind of just trickles down the pages and you end up on the very last page. And that's not what you want, because most people that search on Airbnb, they might get to the 4th or 5th page and then their attention span is done. So the goal here is to help you optimize your listing for the algorithm and also for not only your own protection for your property, but as well as attracting someone to stay for a longer period of time. So what I thought I would do is kind of make this interactive, because I don't want to be the one talking the entire time, but I'll show you what my listing looked like before and then what my listing looked like afterwards. And then Cindy and Millie, I have both of your listings pulled up, and I would like you to constructively advise each other based on what you've learned on my listing on how you can improve your own listing. And before you start this activity, there's one thing that I would like everybody to do is just to see where your listing stands when you search for your property in Airbnb. And the best way to do this is to go into what's called incognito mode. Incognito mode is when you open a private browser. That way it has no cache, nothing, no history. It doesn't know anything about you. And you try to search for your own listing on Airbnb and see where your listing shows up. Does it show up on the first page or does it show up on the 15th page? Once you get an idea of where you show up, then make these improvements. And then I want you to track your listing in the same way using incognito mode to see if you've improved your listing, and it should. Because the steps that I took for my own listing, I was sitting on page 13 when I started, and by day 5, I was on page 1. So I want you guys to test this and obviously feedback the results back to me and let me know how it worked. Okay? All right, so let's get started. You should be able to see my screen. Yes? All right. So this is what my listing looked like a while back. And this is before I, worked with anybody. I just kind of threw out pictures that I thought were nice. And when you are looking on the website on your computer, what's really important is your first 5 photos. The problem with this is that I have 3 photos of the front entrance of my house, and then one of a third bedroom, and then makeup towels. When you look at this, you're like, so what? This doesn't tell me anything. So after meeting with Sheila, she said, let's rearrange your photos and make it look better. What do you guys think? A huge difference in that. If you guys like the change, drop a 1 in the chat. Let's see, people are paying attention. All right. Okay. So you can see already just this one simple thing didn't cost me any money. All I did was rearrange the photos. Pick your best 5 photos. That's the rule of 5. And I wanted to show the living room space because, in the extended stay space, you want to be able to attract people families. For me, that's who I want to attract. I want families. I want a cozy environment for people to gather around a TV. The second thing is the decision maker, the person making the review, will be the one that's staying in the primary bedroom. So I chose a picture of the primary bedroom because I'm really proud of how that looked. And I installed that wallpaper myself. And that was a lot of work. So why not showcase it? The next thing is the kitchen. So you want to have a beautiful kitchen. I thought it would be nice for them to see that you have a galley kitchen and an eat-in kitchen. One of the things, for insurance people or people that are in corporate relocations, one thing they crave is a family dinner. Something as simple as a family dinner. So showing them where they could have dinner together every night is a great way to approach this. And then finally, the secondary bedroom, I have a queen size bed there, and I showed that. All right, the next thing is professional photos are so important. If you're not doing professional photos, spend the money. They'll cost you $250 to $350. Spend money on a better photographer than a less better photographer because you will make that money back as an investment. Like if someone's choosing between your property and another property, one has pro photos, the other one doesn't, they're obviously going to choose the one with pro photos. Now, on to photos. I want you to have no more than 25 to 30 pictures. Anything more than that gets distracting. Because again, people only have so much patience for these photos. So 25 to 30 photos. The next thing I want you to do is caption your photos. Okay. So I put in here like flat screen TV. It's 50 inches. Stream your favorite TV shows. The one thing I forgot to mention is every one of my properties comes with a free Netflix that they can use, but they're also welcome to log into their own Hulu accounts or Peacock or whatever it is. Right. So when you caption your photos, you could talk about right here, like I put in here queen size bed, right? I can't tell you how often when I get requests like, oh, what size of the beds? If you make it in the photos, it makes it nice and clear for them to see that. So I put queen size photos, high-end queen size mattress, and comfortable hotel quality. So because I use 100% cotton and I use linen, to me, that's really nice quality. Why not feature that? And if you have like a brand name mattress that you're particularly proud of, put that in there as well. So maybe you have like a Beauty Rest or maybe a Helix Luxe, something that's better than a foam mattress or a topper or whatever. In the midterm rental space, people aren't just staying for a weekend, they're committing to an extended stay. So that sleep experience is going to be so important. I also have drone footage because my particular property has a large backyard. So I wanted people to be able to see that. And also that the parking's on the side and the front entrance is up here on the right. I like to showcase a dedicated desk space. When I went to the Corporate Housing Providers Association conference in Tucson last month, they said that a lot of the times they don't use Airbnbs, not only is because there's inconsistent quality, but because their clients need a desk space. So take a picture of your desk space, but also include the speed test photo in there. Right? Someone using the desk space is probably going to use the internet. So let them know what the speed test is. Other things, oh gosh, these are all my notes. So let me see what else I have in here. I put a whole list of things for us to look at today. And let me not spoil everything yet. So let me just, 1 second. All right. So we talked about the best 5. We talked about professional photos and caption every photos. Okay, let's talk about amenities for a minute. So when you take your photos for your midterm rental, do not forget to organize the cabinets. Organize the cabinets and open your cabinets and take photos of the amenities. Like if you have matching cups, matching plates, scratch-free cookware, enough frying pans, maybe you have a slow cooker, air fryer, if you have a Nespresso machine or maybe a Keurig, take photos of that. Take photos of the parking situation, if you have an EV charger, and the laundry room. So you might have to pay your photographer a little bit extra for these photos, but those are really important amenities that midterm renters are looking for. In your description, I want you to put in there what schools your property goes to. Middle school, elementary school, high school, and also the school district. The next thing is make sure you have in your captions, put in some keywords if your property is close to a attraction. So that Leander property, the one that I just showed you, the greenhouse, like it's close to the HEB Center where hockey games are played. It's close to the hot house where there's concerts. Put those in your captions like, oh, relax and unwind with a glass of wine in our living room before you head out to the HEB Center for a hockey game. What you're doing there is you are training the algorithm to know what Google's going to pick up. So if someone's looking for an Airbnb near HEB Center, they're going to land on my photo. They're going to land on my listing over time. So you're training that search engine optimization. The other thing is include the distance to major hospitals and major employers. Again, that's connecting your listing to those major facilities. When you connect the dots, it helps Google. Take photos of your fully fenced backyard. That's also great because most midterm renters that I host have dogs, at least one. If not, I think my family, the one that I was hosting last month, had 3 dogs and 1 cat. So those are important to them to have a fully fenced backyard. And then one key amenity that I want to make sure that everybody has, ask me how I know, is a fire extinguisher. We recently almost had a house fire at one of our properties. Thank God the client was very savvy, but we didn't have a fire extinguisher there. We used to have one. I'm not sure if someone stole it, but it was missing. And luckily the guest was smart enough to get a big thing of salt and put out a grease fire in the barbecue. Grease fires do not put water on a grease fire. You will set your whole house on fire. So if you don't have a fire extinguisher, have a lot of salt. All right. There's a thing I want to show you on my own Airbnb listing. Let me just pull that up really quickly. Excuse me, my goodness, my voice is just nuts. I want to show you a listing of mine. because one of the beauties of doing midterm rentals is to not have to pay for consumables. Put a 2 in the chat if you like that you're not constantly refilling toilet paper, paper towels, all that other stuff. I can certainly tell you that I love that I don't have that. Okay. All right, going back to the same listing, there are some words. Okay, so we talked about the HEB Center hothouse in your description. And by the way, use bullet points. Bullet points are great because people read things from their phone all the time. When you make things really short and succinct, it makes them really easy to digest. And this is one of the key trainings that I had at Apple on how to write communications. Bullet points, bullet points, bullet points. Okay, now I'm going to copy and paste this into the chat so you can include it in your listing. We include a reasonable starter amount of toilet paper, paper towels, and other consumables like shampoo, conditioner, body wash, dish detergent, and laundry detergent. Beyond the starter package, our guests are expected to manage their own refills. Put a 3 in the chat if you don't have that in your current listing. And you want to include it now. All right, so let's throw that in the chat. That way you can copy that into your listing. All right, the other thing is security cameras. If you have a security camera, you need to disclose it in your Airbnb listing. But I say this so that no one freaks out that anybody's watching them. I say for the safety of both guests and property, we have exterior cameras actively recording an audio of porch, exterior parking, and front door. Guests staying 30 days or more can request access. Guests are not to disable, no tampering, unless there is excessive activity. Cameras are not constantly monitored. Put a number 4 if you like that in the chat. All right, and then last one is some of you need to check your renter's your insurance for your property and see if there's any breed restrictions. Breed restrictions can be for a lot of people can be an issue because I've had to turn down guests that have pit bull mixes because my insurance won't cover that. The chances of something happening is probably unlikely, but I'll give you an example of when things go wrong. Luckily, it wasn't a midterm rental guest, but I have a long-term rental and it's an older house. It's a 1990s house. We had this huge windstorm in Austin and it knocked down the fence. They had a puppy. The next door neighbor had a pit bull. Guess what happened to the puppy? Okay, imagine if it was a child and the wind blew down, right? These are things that you have to think about. So check your breed restrictions. I heard State Farm doesn't have any, but check your thing. And then if you have a breed restriction, I put in the top breeds that are often restricted. If this is something that you think has been helpful for you, drop a number 5 in the chat. All right, and let me check my notes on what else I want to cover before we start slinging each other's listings. Okay, perfect. I'll also drop the how I write the proximity of schools. That way you have that. I'm going to drop that in the chat so you can see how I write mine. And then lastly, I want to talk about calendar. The secret sauce to midterm rentals is managing your calendars appropriately. We just got a 6-month booking for $28,000 last night. Okay. We just got another we got 4 requests for insurance housing. And I was unable to propose several of them because they have bookings through the month of April and through the month of March in short segments. You look at my calendar, I'm booked all the way, and I leave mine open after that. Okay, I do not take any bookings in June. I do not take any bookings for Memorial Day weekend. How I control that is I use Price Labs, or you can use Wheelhouse, and basically say, so that you see my reservation here ends April 30th. So come April 30th, my calendar starts opening up in a sequence. It says between April 30th and, I don't know, May 5th. Within that 7-day period, you can book a one-night stay. From the 5th until the 18th, you're welcome to book a 3-night stay, minimum. After that, it's 30 days only. You keep your calendar tight. If you keep it tight, someone that's looking for a 6-month rent can book that entire 6 months without getting it blocked by individual bookings throughout the month. All right, I'm done talking. Drop in a 6 if you liked the overview so far in the chat. Okay, now on to our first listing roast, everybody. We're going to carve out 15 minutes for this. Millie, you are going to, I'm going to drop this, if it's okay, I'm going to drop this link in the Airbnb, sorry, the Airbnb link in the, to you, Millie. That way you can look at it. And do you want to share it on your computer? Do you have your computer open?
Sure. I have it actually already pulled up.
Okay. So I just dropped you the link. If you can pull it up on your computer and share, Cindy will be your listener, and so will the rest of us, to kind of get an understanding of, you know, what you think about her property.
Okay, can everyone see my listing?
Yeah.
Okay, great. What would you like me to do? Go through the pictures or focus on the
Let's start with the rule of 5, right? Are the first 5 photos the best representation of her property? And you can open up all the photos to see if there's any photos that could have been better. And for all of you that are listening, you can always comment on which you think are the top 5. Jadrian, you can't see the screen? Can anybody else see Millie's screen?
Yes.
Okay, Ron can see it. We're good. Okay, everyone can see.
Okay.
So in your opinion, does she do a good job of her first 5 photos?
Okay, I'll scroll back up in a second.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now
Billy,
back
this
up.
is yours, right? No, this is
I'm sorry,
Billy, this is yours, or
this is mine.
this is your own listing. Okay.
Mhm.
So
So
if
I'll
you-
go back to the cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ron says maybe a better kitchen photo. Tony says, I like kitchen photos. I agree with that. I like the living room. But I think maybe the small dining table could be replaced with a kitchen photo.
I'll replace this one with, let's see, this one.
That one
This-
or the galley one? The galley view?
Yeah.
Click on that photo. You click on it, we know what number that is. That's photo number 12.
Mhm.
I think photo 12 is great. Cindy, do you have an opinion?
I like that photo as well.
Okay.
Oh, great. That was
And-
my lead professional photo.
Yeah, let's look at the living room photo and see if there's anything better. I feel like I like this, the one on the left right there. I feel like that is a really great representation of the room. Do you guys like photo number 8?
It looks
Because
nice.
it feels, you can feel the flow, right? What's that, Ron?
Mhm.
Yeah, it looks nice. You can see the openness of it. It doesn't look
Mhm.
as tight, you know.
Cindy, thoughts?
Um, I agree with that. I think I like this one better than the one that's on there currently.
Okay. And then when you think about captioning the photos,
Mhm.
right, you'll have to spend some time to think about how someone's going to use this space.
Mhm.
So I looked up, this listing is in Redding, California, everybody. And I
Mhm.
looked up on TripAdvisor that Redding, California's top 3 attractions are Sundial Bridge, Turtle Bay Exploration Park, and Whiskeytown Lake. So I think you could probably do something in that space to caption and add some words from those listings.
Mhm.
On this photo, Vivian, it looks like it may have been taken during the midday. If she were to take it more towards sunset, she would still have the outside. It wouldn't be whited out. And I'm willing to bet her interior actually looks brighter than what it may appear in this photo. So she'd be able to maybe turn on her inside lights, but still have the outside sun coming through at dusk, which overall might allow her to increase the exposure of
Yeah.
the photo and make it look a little bit more brighter.
I agree with you, Ron. I think, well, I love dark and stormy photos. I
Mhm.
feel like there's usually there's usually 3 approaches to photography when it comes to Airbnb. There's that like light and airy style. There's that moody, dark and stormy, which is what I see here. And then there's the unprofessional photos that where it looks like they didn't pay attention whatsoever. So, I mean, I like your photos, Millie. I think they've set the mood, but you know, given you have dark ceilings, you might want to consider when you retake it to go with more of the light and airy style to make it, you know, brighter.
Mhm. Okay.
All right, so let's go and close this out. We know we need captions. We know we need to reorganize the photos. Let's take a look at the description of your listing.
Okay.
So I would even say 1.5 miles to downtown Reading.
Okay.
Vivian, how do people feel about monthly house cleaning required? I mean, we understand that as operators, but would we just bundle that in the fees and the price, or will we notate it here separately?
So on Airbnb, you should notate it that cleaning is required for an additional whatever it is. When I quote and make proposals for insurance, it is a required and they don't even bat an eye on it.
Cool, good to know.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
go ahead, Millie.
I've wondered about that because other people will just fold it into the rent, but I thought if I added it to the rent, I don't know, it's gonna make my rent look higher and that may be a turn off to some people, because in this area, I feel like my price is a little higher than a lot of the others, so I'm trying to keep the rent as low as possible and not include that.
Yeah, I
in the-
think it's, you know, sometimes I would say there's probably more people that appreciate a clean property than a dirty property. So if you say
Yeah.
that is a required, or you can fold it into your price, but you can say
Mhm.
it's a required for us to get cleaning, not only because our cleaners are our eyes on the property, but that's how we keep a high quality property. It's well maintained.
Mhm. Okay.
Deliver the value as opposed to the cost, right?
Okay.
All right, Cindy,
that's
time to
fine.
do a little quick reading. Let's see what you have to say about her property. Anything else?
Is there any fees for pets? And is that a turn off or turn Like, are people okay with that? Is it?
I do a $700 pet deposit on Furnished Finder. I haven't gotten any Airbnb listings yet, so I actually should put that in the listing. That's a good call.
So a $700 deposit is a little bit hefty,
Okay.
in my opinion. I feel like the sweet spot is about $150 to $200. And then you can note an additional cleaning fee for the dog. So above and beyond your cleaning fee, if your cleaning fee is 150, at move out, they should be charged an additional 150. That should go directly to your cleaners.
Mhm.
And if they don't charge 150, give yourself a little bit of cushion because you might need to replace a rug. You might need to replace some linens if the dog sleeps on the bed every night.
Mhm.
So things to think about, right?
Mhm. Okay. I was thinking of making it high because I thought, what if he ruins the couch? And the couch is $2,200. But the normal deposit is 1,500, and then for pets it's 700. But if you
So,
think,
yeah. I highly recommend getting on a property management system if you're not already, that has the ability for you to add a damage deposit insurance or damage insurance. So with OwnerRes, they
Mhm.
have a white label product called Rental Guardian.
Mm.
For $37 a month, that gives you $1,500 in coverage.
Wow, that's great.
So you could reduce your pet deposit
Mhm.
and use that as your as a way to solve your damage issue.
That's a great idea. Thank you.
And there's other ones out there, like I heard Steadily is good, and I heard Wavo is good. I've only talked to Wavo and Rental Guardian. The difference between the two in my mind that were huge for me is that Rental Guardian covers bed bugs and Wavo does not. In the midterm rental space, I'm not so concerned about bed bugs because there aren't as many people coming in and out. But if you're doing short-term rentals, for sure, you want to consider that, especially if you host a lot of people from out of town.
Mhm. Vivian, if you have a person like her post right here is 30 days plus at the top. If she has a person that says for like 60 days, what about a monthly pet rental, or is it just a one-time fee?
You can do a pet rent, $5 a day is super reasonable, which is $150. Did you have photos of your laundry facility, Millie?
I did. It's just, it's it's in one of the bathrooms. It's really tiny. Here.
I don't think you mentioned that in your listing, but it's always good to do that.
Yeah, okay. Even if I've checked it off as an amenity, I should still add it in the listing, huh?
Yeah. And then, oh, you do have it there. Never mind. And then parking situation. How many cars
Oh,
can
yeah.
it park?
Okay. It can technically fit 4, so I can put that. If it's 2 couples, then that might be good to include.
Yep.
Okay.
Cindy, did we miss anything from the training notes that we went over in the beginning of the session?
Unless she wants to mention about the school districts or the schools or the school districts.
I just
Yeah,
wanted to
I
say
think great.
it's a small house that families with kids would probably not pick that.
Gotcha.
That's fair.
But thank you. This was so helpful.
Awesome. All right. I guess we can move to Cindy's. Cindy's, do you have yours up?
I do not.
Okay, I can share.
Okay.
Cindy's property is in Blackwell, Texas. First 5 photos, comment in the chat what you think. Need interior photos? Agree? Anybody else? We have 21 people on this. Come on. All right, so what we'll do is, obviously there's 5 photos of the exterior. Let's go inside the home and see what it looks like. And I'm going to click into the photos. That way you can see the numbers and you can tell me what number photo should be their first 5. So take a notepad, record the number, the photo number that speaks out to you. I personally really like the number 1. So Cindy, remember when I said maximum 25 to 30
Yes.
photos? Just the first 8 photos is just the front.
Okay.
Millie, feel free to jump in with your roast. Amber says, I like 1 or 4 for the main. Ooh, I like this one. Cynthia says number 5 for the exterior photos. See, we're still scrolling and we're only on photo number 28. Wow, there's a lot of beds here. This is a single family home, right? It's not a
Yes,
trailer.
that's right. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath home.
It's 2 bedroom, 1 bath.
Uh-huh.
That's a
It's
ton of
just
beds.
large. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just large.
That's interesting. I don't really see these kind of ceilings in the properties that I see. Ooh, I like that. You can see looks nice and clean. Is this the same house or is this a side house?
Yes. Nope, that's the same. And
Okay.
that's an outdoor patio area that's a shop out in front of the house.
Is this considered a barnuminium or is this an actual house?
No, this is a house. This what you're looking at is a shop, an insulated shop out in front of the house. See, there's the house.
Oh, got it.
So yeah,
Okay.
it's on 2.4 acres. It's out in the country. So that shop has 2 bays on the front.
See, if you caption the photos, that would be helpful.
Okay.
Yeah. It is a beautiful property.
Thank you.
All right. Comments. Let's drop them in the chat on the photos. Did you guys pick your favorites? Ron says number 1, number 10, number 18, and he thinks the bedroom shots need to be redone. Another person says number 15 for the kitchen. Anyone else? I feel like you have too many photos of the living room. You got
Okay,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
okay.
If I were to choose one for the living room, I think this one is nice. Number
Mhm.
10, as Ron said.
Okay.
And then I really like, personally, the photo here because you can see the living room and how it flows. Do you guys like number 15? And one suggestion says clear the dining room table so it doesn't look cluttered.
That was just for pictures. It doesn't have that on it.
I think it would do better if you didn't have it for your next round of pictures. Window curtains need to be open for number 15. I agree with that. Yeah. So if you have a chance to retake this one, open it up. Okay, what else do we have here? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 pictures of the kitchen. I think you can reduce the number of pictures for the kitchen. Your order of photos, I would actually put this at the very end, the stuff that's inside the cabinets.
Okay,
I think the order, like, I think people just want to see the main space, and I think they'll dive into the details.
okay,
So I would move your, this cabinet one, number 17. And this one, number 21. Maybe put them at the end. And same with these guys here, which I think you did a great job of. Like, this is the stuff people want to see. But you don't get to the bedrooms until they have to scroll through all those kitchen cabinets. Amber agrees with me. Yay, thanks, Amber.
Mhm.
All right, what size are these beds?
Queen and a standard in that room.
Okay, that'd be great for captioning in the photo.
Okay.
And who do you normally host in this property, Cindy?
Well, it's pretty much a brand new Airbnb. I mean, we haven't had it very long, and we've only had probably 5 at this point, 5 guests, maybe 6.
Okay.
It's short term.
And in the feedback from them, did they love the beds? What do they love most about the property?
We can't get anybody to leave us reviews, Vivian. Like, we have one person that's left us a review. And I
would
just
say that's a silent killer because there might be something that they're not telling you.
Well, honestly, I think it's because the people that have stayed there aren't familiar with Airbnb. Like, they've gotten on Airbnb and found a place to stay, and they don't.
Hold on, we need to mute somebody here. Arista, can you find, oh, there we go. Thank you. Sorry, say that again. Oh, now you're muted, Cindy.
There we go. They're new to Airbnb. They don't understand how it works. Some of them have not even, 1 or 2 of them haven't even spoken English. I mean, I've gone back and asked for reviews. I've asked if everything was okay, and people just don't respond.
Have you considered putting Spanish in your listing, assuming they speak Spanish?
I haven't, but I guess I could.
I mean, it could help if that's the clientele that you have out there. Okay.
Well, that was just one guess, but I go on the guest profiles, and like they have no reviews, or they've recently joined Airbnb, so it's kind of hard to know, if they even understand the process, or how important getting reviews are for
Mhm.
properties.
Sometimes as simple as saying, your review is important to me. Did I do everything I can to earn that 5-star review? Just
Okay.
explicitly say it. And if you believe that they might be a foreign speaker, figure out what language it might be and try to use a, Google Translator and ask them the same. Even if it's wrong, grammatically completely. It should be directionally correct. Millie says she saw the fire pit. A sunset photo with the fire going would be great. Unless there's a burn ban.
Which a lot of times in our area there is.
Yeah. And Tony says, what's your opinion on adding non-photo property or property photos like a local attraction or a photo of nearby nature photo? I'm indifferent. I think that's good. I mean, if you're walking distance to some really well-rated restaurants, then have a photo of the restaurant and then say walking distance or, within a few minutes drive of downtown, whatever area. So I think that's great. But again, don't, put way too many photos. Just try to keep it engaging. So is this the same bedroom as that one? No.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Got it. And then this is a second bedroom, and is that a king size bed?
A king and a twin. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I would, definitely add that into the caption as well.
Okay.
If you're using a PMS, you can automate a message one day before the end of their stay that reviews are so important to us and we would welcome your feedback. Yeah, you could do that as well. I think you can actually do that even without a PMS system. I believe Airbnb has a setting where you can automatically generate messages one day prior to the departure date.
I do that and it still makes no difference.
What if you said, I'm about to leave you a 5-star review?
Okay.
I'm hoping you can do the same for me.
Okay.
Do you review them?
Yes.
Bathroom looks good. I don't necessarily think you need a second shower photo, but maybe you do. I think it depends on how many photos you end up using.
Okay.
So again, remember that consumables line that I put up there? You can add that to this photo right here.
Okay.
Like we leave a reasonable amount of starters. Question to the audience. What do you think of this cabinet?
I'm weird though, so I don't know if I can answer this, Vivian, but it's like I don't like using products personally that aren't my own creams and detergents and shampoos. But that's just me. I don't know if someone else would appreciate that she supplied everything, but that's just me. If it's a midterm stay, if it's a short-term stay, they might be more open to it.
Short-term stays, people appreciate that. I have 3 Airbnbs and I do this everywhere and I get more comments that people do appreciate that because they get away from their own homes and forget whatever. And most of the time I have it there. So I don't know about midterm stays because I'm not into that market yet. So that's why I'm here to learn.
Amber says, not a fan of the cabinet. I love that there are options. If I forget them, that's a distracting photo. Could just be a description. That's a good point. Might be something that you can just be like a surprise and delight item. I don't think someone would specifically choose your property because you have these amenities, but maybe when they show up, they're like, oh, there's like this nice smelling cherry blossom hand cream that I'd like to try. Or, oh, there's a fabric, adhesive bandages. So again, if you're unable to fit this photo in your 30 photos, that would be, I would leave this as a low priority item. Tony says, how about put it in a basket? That's an option as well. I think this is good. Do you leave all of these out, Cindy?
Yes.
One cost measure, I would say, is just leave 2 or 3 out at a time.
Okay.
Because some people are not nice and they'll just grab everything they can and put it in their backpack.
That's already happened.
Yeah. So, just have your cleaner put it out, 2 at a time. And, Millie says cute matching glass containers for Q-tips and cotton balls. Yeah, I do that. I get those little containers. I actually use plastic because I don't like glass breaking in a bathroom, but the little glass containers with the lid.
Mm-hmm.
And Tatiana says, I agree, it doesn't need to be in a photo. Would consider maybe single-use items. Not sure how people accept use items. I know for me, I would never use somebody else's floss. That's just me. I like this. Super simple. That's an important photo. I would definitely keep this one. That was good too. And then definitely caption the space. If this main house or this other workspace is not to be used, you can say just enjoy the outdoor patio space. And then the rest of it is closed off for guest use. What's inside here again?
It's a shop, an insulated shop, and it's locked. Guests can't get to it. All they can utilize is the outdoor patio there.
Got it. Okay, cool. All right, let's get to your description. We only have a few minutes left. All right, so we talked about bullet pointing, right? Millie did a great job in hers.
Mm-hmm.
Title can be improved. See what your title says. Oak Creek Getaway. Okay, I agree. I don't know where Oak Creek is, but maybe I know where Blackwell is. See here. If 2 beds per bedroom works for midterm, I also do not share a bedroom at a home, so I wouldn't do that in temporary housing. That's a good point. I think it depends on what your strategy is, right? Cindy, you do a lot of STR. If your STR strategy, number of heads in beds is the name of the game. Midterm, I think that depends on who your avatar is. I think Ashley had some time to talk to you on the phone recently, and she said that you get a lot of plantation workers or maybe people that work in the oil fields, right? Cindy?
Our area is very rural and small. Seasonal things. We get a lot of our area is pretty popular for hunting, so we get a lot of hunters during hunting season. Workers for different things like solar farm projects, wind farm projects in our area.
Well, I would include that kind of detail in your listing. Like, hey, the people that love staying at our places are the people that are in town for these activities. Speak to the person that's going to use your listing. Like you wrote that listing for them.
Okay.
And looking up Blackwell, Texas, I noticed that the #1 attraction is Fort Chadburn, Dos Plumas Ranch, and National Wasp Museum. So why not include that, the distance and proximity to that? Millie, what else do you have to say?
I think the acreage is a big draw that might work well in the title because that may help you stand out from the others.
And 2.4 acres is a lot. As a real estate investor, the one thing I would think about is getting RV hookups.
We've considered that, but just on the other side of the fence from our property, there's an RV park with 17. So I don't think that's a, and they're not ever full.
Hmm.
People might want a place that's more private than the place with 17 others, Just a thought.
I mean, I think that if I was working with a group of people, I'd like to stay in the same place and more private for sure. Yeah, I think that's a good way to do it. Or even people that are coming to fish and they want to come with their buddies. And you can even provide the RVs if you wanted to. We got some comments here. I would chat with local farms that have seasonal workers that need a place to stay and also have the listing information in Spanish. The part about horses and the room to park RV park seems like a unique selling point. Or a tiny home ranch. Have you guys tried ChatGPT yet for writing a listing?
Mm-mm.
Ooh, let's do that really quickly. All right, if you guys have not used ChatGPT for writing a listing, let's do a demo. You're going to prompt it. You are an Airbnb listing specialist. And I need your help to write a listing in English and Spanish for a home with the following features in Blackwell, Texas. All right. 2-bedroom, 1 bath on 2.4 acres. Parking for how many cars? Looks like 8.
There's plenty. I mean, you could park 10 there if need be.
Parking for up to 10 cars. Outdoor space to sit and grill. Fully stocked kitchen. What else? Laundry facilities in-house. What else can we say about this place? Close, attract, plan, local companies to put their workers, let's see what happens in temporary housing, servicing, wind farms, companies, and what else is in the area?
Solar farms.
Solar farms. Include area attractions in the description. All right, you guys ready for me to hit enter? See what happens? Drum roll, please. How do you guys like that? How long did it take me to write up my prompt? 1.5 minutes? Cindy, I'm going to drop this in the chat for you to pick up.
Okay.
They even did the bullet
Oh,
points.
it
That's
says it's too long. I'm going to have to email it to you. Yeah, they even
Okay.
bullet pointed it. Right? So
Yeah.
ChatGPT is your new best friend if you're not already using it. We are up for time, guys. If you like this, drop a 10 in the chat, and I'll see you guys again soon. Thank you, everyone.
thank you all.
Thanks,
Bye.
Vivian.
Bye.